This is a racetrack in Spain called Calafat. I'm here because Mahindra Racing, a Formula-E team, do all their testing here because it's a twisty, technical, savage racetrack. I'm here most importantly though, because I'm going to be driving a Formula-E car, because the Formula-E car that Mahindra Racing runs directly helps develop this. This is the Pininfarina Battista. This is probably the most expensive car on sale at the moment, and it's certainly the most powerful electric hypercar. Some 1900 horsepower, sub 2 seconds 62 capability. All of the DNA from the racing and the driver of Nick Heidfeld, who you might know from Formula 1 and also multiple podiums in Formula-E, are helping to develop this car. And if you're going to buy a car like this, the theory is that Pininfarina says you want to know how to drive it and make the most out of it. And that's why you come to a program like this where you actually get the chance to drive an ex-competition Gen 1 Formula-E car, but not before you've learnt the track in a Tesla. So we're going to go from this, do a few laps, get used to the car, get used to the circuit critically, but then we're going to go into the Model S P100D track spec behind us, electric GT. And that car has got better suspension, better brakes, so then we'll build up speed, build up confidence before we go into a single-seater. There's three of us, three cars going out behind the instructor. The instructor's going to be on the walkie-talkie. So today they've set out cones to help us with the braking distance and stuff, and the apex. A, to speed up the learning process, but B, and this is really crucial, when I go from this car into the Model S, it'll be lower because that's a race-prepped car.
We had a lot of customers joining this hyperdrive experience here. Yeah. The aim of this week here in Calafat is to let our customer experience the EV, let our customer experience most of all the high performance EV.
Yeah.
So usually the mobility on EV side is connected to moving from A to B in a sustainable way. We would like to join this concept with the high performance we can deliver. So this is the first touch point for the customer with high performance.
Brake a little bit, turn, find that next cone, unwind the steering, come wide, come wide, come wide, throttle, throttle, throttle. Brake, 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 go in for the chicane. Chicane.
Had quite many spins, so brake straight, go in, and then we can do a good acceleration at the end.
My little notepad that I bring everywhere, I just wrote down to remind myself of the stats of this car. 1.5 megawatts, so 1,900 horsepower, 120 kilowatt hour battery pack, 1,696 pounds-feet of torque. I mean, that is just ridiculous. And then a range, a WLTP range of 500 kilometers now.
Yeah, we increased the range.
That has increased since I first met the car at Geneva.
Yeah. We work a lot as an engineering team together with our designers in Turin. We were able to optimize the shape of the car, especially on the front side. Yeah. And we gained 50 kilometers more in WLTP range. So this is really, really good.
I have a man called Carlos talking to me about how to go fast around this circuit in a Model 3. Because
out here with those cars.
In about an hour I'll be going around in a model,
a
Formula-E model.
Actually, I heard about the idea of Formula-E years before, and then when it finally came up, first I was hesitant because I thought I want to do sports cars because I like it so much. But then I got a call asking if I want to try it, and then I thought, okay, at least give it a go. I like the idea. Let's go in from the beginning. It might be exciting, and then I just enjoyed it massively, and then just stuck to it for a few years.
Rule number one of being a pretend race driver: always carry a notebook. So although this is a, obviously it's a halo hypercar for the new generation of vehicles, it has quite a level of practicality beyond its piston-powered peers, really, because, if you spend £1 million on a piston hypercar, the chances are you're not going to use it very much. Whereas actually, I was speaking to a prospective owner of one of these, and they were saying, "Oh, I'm going to use this car,"
No, our target is at the end what you were saying. So to give to our customer a vehicle for a daily use.
Yeah.
So we really believe in the concept of the GT car. So a lot of our customers own a lot of hypercars. What we would like to give them is the opportunity to arrive in the garage, have all the keys in front of them, and choose the Bautista one.
It's lovely to see it out in the open, because it's very different seeing a car at a motor show with all the special lights and it on a rotating plinth. Now we're just out in a car park, and it's just looks. It's a really gorgeous. I think what I like about the look of it personally is the sort of the simplicity of it. It's not a complicated shape.
The purity of the lines.
Yeah.
This is one of our goals. Our design team was really working in the perfect way to deliver a pure design of the car.
The Bautista, a car that I've only seen in a motor show plinth, like most people. Ludicrous amounts of torque, 500 kilometre WLTP range, a revised front end to get extra range actually since we first saw the video that you might have seen, the fully charged walk around of it in Geneva. It's a GT car, so it's comfortable, you can do long distances in it, but it's also going to be immensely capable around a track with torque vectoring, four-wheel drive, Rimac developed drivetrain, a carbon fibre cockpit, monocoque kind of tub, which you can see because these doors are gorgeous. They come up and they form like a T-top spine on the top of the car, so you can see all of the exposed, beautiful lacquered carbon here. It's got double wishbone suspension. It's got an air brake. This thing comes up here, this beautiful kind of like whale tail air brake comes up, develops 600 kilos of braking ability. You've got the little charge port with the Farina badge. Of course, it's a beautiful car because it's designed by Pininfarina, who have penned Ferraris since the 50s, have penned loads of more down-to-earth attainable cars. Actually, Pininfarina have made some very cool cars. The rate of evolution it's happening very quickly, isn't it? It's still a very young series, still a very young car.
Yeah, I think it has improved massively. It was a perfect time for the championship to come in. Now all road cars go electric. We have Formula-E, we have more and more manufacturers coming in. In this coming season, I think we will have more manufacturers than any other championship in the world, all really high class, pushing, so it becomes more competitive, more fun, but it was also fun from the beginning. Especially in season 1 and 2, it was a bit like a startup and with everybody really pushing together. How I always like to explain it is that in Formula 1 it's fantastic, but it's like a Shark Tank. It's great if you survive, but it's not like everybody pushing together, because there's a huge piece of cake and everybody wants to have a piece of it.
Oh, it's horrible. That is horrible. Horrible chicane.
Okay.
It's a big car for a chicane.
And gas.
Oh, yeah. Traction control. How dare you?
But you will enjoy the Formula-E. Now you more or less recognize the track, you know the corners, and now the Formula-E.
I reckon 3 more laps in this, it would have really... This feels good.
Yeah.
So
the
this is...
handling of the car is good.
like I say, it's heavy. Once you realise you've gone, that mass comes and gets you. But actually, the chassis and the turning and everything's really good.
Yeah.
Well, that was really good. I've just gone out in this Model S electric GT P100D, which is lightened, Suspension's got Olin suspension, it's wider track, it's got lighter wheels, it's got aftermarket brakes. And that's what I'm going in next. And that is going to be a massive transition because that's a huge car. This is a tight track and very technical. I did spin. Hopefully we can edit that out so you never see it. So people that are watching who maybe don't follow racing really closely, can you explain the sort of the relationship between and the relatability of a Formula E car and where the R&D and information is going to the Bautista, which is why we're here?
The idea in Formula E is that the money that we spend is spent on the drivetrain. So the cars are one make, they all look the same, they all have the same aero. Other than Formula One, where every car is different, and they spend a lot of money on downforce. We don't want to do that. We want to spend the money on the drivetrain, push the evolution and development forward, and then take it to road cars. This is what we're doing. And Mahindra Racing and Automobili Pininfarina are closely connected. They exchange their knowledge, especially on the battery management system. And this is why we're here today in Calafat, showing the Bautista and the Formula E.
And that's what this whole program with Mahindra and Pininfarina is about. It's like a customer program of getting people used to this new power, this new wave of power and torque that we have at our fingertips for, I guess, the next generation of electric hypercar, of which that's spearheading. 1900 horsepower, sub 2 seconds to 62, with a 500 kilometer range. I mean, Pininfarina know how to make a car pretty, right? And then it's using the Mahindra Racing arm for the R&D.
We work a lot with the Mahindra Racing team basically for simulation aspect. So we are trying to get from them all the lessons learned we had in the high performance EV environment.
Okay, yeah.
But then, as you were correctly pointing out, we are working a lot with Rimac. We are co-developing this platform with Rimac guys. So we have really a strong connection with the guys in Zagreb.
And Mate knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic guy.
And all this team is really, really, really good.
Yeah, he is. He's a pioneer through and through. So you've got that going on, and then you've got this is going to be up to 150 of these cars are being made.
Correct.
Is the price tag the same? £2 million?
I'm not a sales guy, but I should say that it's...
Give or take local taxes. You have to say that. Okay, here we go. This is what a Formula E car feels like. My gosh, it's low. I can't see very well. Wow. Do you think we are seeing with the EV platform maybe a renaissance in the sort of coach builder?
You're right. The EV concept allow you to make things easier.
Yeah.
Also from a packaging perspective,
Yeah.
compared to a combustion engine car. So I think you're right.
I'm not saying a lot. Getting used to it. Wow, no power steering, no ABS, no traction control to speak of. That lateral grip is like no car with a full body can really manage. Wow, that grip is insane. Shit. Okay, so I've got to press an awful lot harder on the brake and be way more committed on the brake. The next time I see you will be Geneva, I suppose.
Yes, exactly.
What will there be a production ready version of this? Because I know this is pre-production. You can see some of the switches aren't finished or maybe not fully functional.
We are working to have another show car for Geneva.
Oh.
I have no the precise data of the pedigree of the car in terms of readiness. Okay. But you will surely have some news on the Bautista as well in the next Geneva Motor Show.
I'm looking forward to that very much. Unwind, 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 unwind. all the way out. Brake straight, don't be a dick. Get that chicane right, not onto the kitty litter. Go right, brake, turn in. What I can't get my head around is when you did your little presentation at the track this morning and explaining why we're at this track, because this is the track that you chose to represent street circuits for Formula-E and testing for Mahindra, is that you've managed to drive the Bautista around here during testing 4 seconds quicker than you can do it in a Formula-E.
It will be able to do that, but the Bautista is not driving yet other than on the simulator. But what we have done in the UK, we have a dedicated simulator where actually both Jérôme and Pascal, who are our drivers for the coming season in Formula-E, had a Formula-E model, and they had the information from Automobili Pininfarina given with all the data, power, weight, and so on. And then they really drove it, and this is how we came up with the figure of the Bautista being 4 seconds.
So it's okay. So it's theoretical at the moment.
No, it's more than theoretical. I mean, it is really driven on the simulator because you can just put the numbers in the simulator and the program does it. It's not the real thing on the street, yes, but it's somewhere in the middle.
Okay, we're flying. It's not about the top speed. That's not the mad bit, actually. The mad bit is what you can do when you go in and out of a corner. Really dive in. Okay, this is the end of it. Man, I want to now have a go in a second gen car. Wow. Man, my throat is so dry. I feel like I've just had a big old stack of Jacob's cream crackers and no drink for hours. I'm steaming up. I'm steaming up in here. Actually, the left foot on the brake constantly did not feel as alien as I thought it would. I'm sat so tight in this little tub. I've just got out of the Formula-E car. It's a phenomenal experience. It feels very special to even get the chance to go near a car like this. You know, a fully fledged competition car. And the main thing you notice is obviously your head is here, whereas your head in a passenger car like the Model S that we just were in, your head's here. You see the track in a completely different way, which is why you have to kind of learn it intensively. It's the speed of the turning and the ability to late brake and then come out of a corner. And also it's so physical. Because there's no power steering, little batwing steering wheel, and you're really tucked in there. If you suffer from claustrophobia, I think before you'd even set out in the car, you'd be skipping a beat a bit. It's extremely exciting. It's great. What's bizarre is you go out in the Gen 1 car, and the Bautista, the Pininfarina Battista, is 10 times the power of that. It's quick around that track by over 4 seconds, and that's a full-size passenger car, not a little featherweight thing like this.
It's a real Gen 1 car that we raced. Actually,
That's one of your race cars?
Yeah, one is mine. The other one is Felix. Actually, I think it's the car that Felix won with in Berlin. So you get the real thing, and this is quite unique, I think. But what I find is impressive is if you look at what energy you have available and what you get onto the wheels. In a normal combustion car, it might be 30-40% efficiency. Yeah. On an electric car, it's maybe around 90. Yeah. But in the Formula-E, I think we reach 96, 97, something like this, so it's really impressive. We just don't burn the energy into noise and heat, it's just straight onto the road. The battery has made a massive step forward. In the Gen 1 car, we had to change the car in the middle of the race.
That's right.
On the Gen 2 car, we can do a full distance without that, even though the battery size and weight is about the same.
I can't wait to drive this at some point in 2020 if I'm a very good boy. You're probably wondering, what does this mean? I haven't got £2 million. It's irrelevant. It's all about the effect that this kind of a car has on the wider community. Today's been very special because you never get the chance really to drive a single-seater car of any type. It's extra different from any passenger car. I've been out and I really enjoyed that actually. And I loved the Formula-E car, just the feeling of that lateral movement. The turnability compared to a full body car is like no other. As usual, thank you so much for watching Fully Charged. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like it. If you haven't subscribed already, please click subscribe. Touch the bell icon. That alerts you to all the videos that we produce. We produce 2 a week at the moment. We're working very hard for you. And if you're a Patreon, thank you for supporting us. We are working hard for your money. Thank you so much. I'm Jonny Smith. This is Spain. That is a Formula E car that I've driven.